Oh, I just realized I'm a minute early. Well, since I saw you in the chat, I thought I'd go ahead and start. Um, Larry will not be with us again today, and if the sound of the heating fan bothers you, let me know and I'll turn it off. I want to thank Claire for this electric blanket I'm going to use today, wrap around my shoulders. I didn't put the fire in the fireplace today because I was working at the other end of the house. Why waste the wood and when I'm not down here? So I have some good news and I have some bad news. So the bad news is Larry took a, whoa, that looks bad in the corner there. Let's see if I can turn that around a little bit. Larry took a bad turn yesterday. He picked up this flu that's going around, and you can imagine in his compromised state, it's really hit him hard. And I'm sorry, Gloria, where you are to have to be cold and not be used to it. I feel for those of you in Florida. And I think we all need to be prepared for climate change in the sense of reality that not global warming, but a cooling off. There are things that are happening with our sun and with volcanoes and increasing numbers and so on. So we can expect that there are going to be changes coming to our world. So it's important to be knowledgeable about what's coming and be prepared for that. Larry's condition. His wife got the flu really bad, and then he got it. And in his compromised condition, that was quite problematic. So they changed his status last night so that they could try something new. And so that's what they're doing. He does seem to be responding to it. But folks, we're in a really bad spot right now. And I'm sorry, just let me check who it is before I turn this off. I'll have to call them back. Oh my goodness, I got both phones working at the same time. I'm going to have to take this one. What I'm going to do is text and so let them know that I've got somebody coming to give me an estimate on some work that needs to be done. So anyhow, Larry's condition. So he is responding to the medication they're giving him. But folks, you have to realize he's going to need, if he's taking something experimental, those medications are more expensive. So anything you can do to help him would be greatly appreciated. The funds that we had coming in to carry him through have run out, and I so appreciate the people that stepped up and did more and did extra yesterday. It means so very, very much, and I want to say thank you. Thank you. I don't have any way of knowing who gave what unless he says something to me. I know he got some money. He didn't tell me who, but I want to let you know how much he really appreciates it. And snow in Hawaii, now that's a new one. God bless you guys, because I know you're not prepared for that kind of cold. Even up in the mountains. I mean, I remember growing up in Jamaica that, even in the mountains, they did not get snow. It got cold, but not freezing. So been there, done that. So with Larry's condition, anybody who can do anything, I'm going to start out right away. His PayPal account is nicholslive@aol.com. And he got the flu, and it hit him really hard. And with his compromised immune system, it hit him very, very hard, and it is very dangerous. Thank you, Matt. And so, I will let him know. I did tell him last night, and I will tell him again. He did, folks, he doesn't ask for prayer very often. And if he didn't have to ask for money, he wouldn't ask for money either. But he has to have financial help, because he has no income to do this with, no medical insurance, no income whatsoever. His Social Security, as I've told you, was taken away. I don't know how or why, but they can't get, even Jeff Sessions said that he couldn't do anything to get it back. So there was an attempt at high levels made a couple years ago to try and get it back, and whatever had happened, it cannot be done. So Larry needs as much help as we can offer him. And for those who cannot give, what you can do is pick a number you wish you could give and start praying about it and ask God to bring it in. I can't tell you how many times I have asked the Lord to bring in money, and it has shown up, and it comes out of sources that we don't expect. It comes out of somebody brand new. It comes out of somebody who hasn't given in quite a while, and now they're able to again. And so what you can't do yourself, you can pray that God will touch somebody else to do. So keep him in prayer. We will have the conference call tonight, and let me grab that number out of my Word document. Just give me a second. I did get a new computer, and I so appreciate that a new one was sent to me, and I have not had time to get it out of the box yet because of what I'm doing in my own personal life that is a little beyond crazy. But we're handling things the best we can. So when I get that, then I will be able to type number 5 and 6 again. My computer broke, and then the numbers started working again, and then it broke again. So there it goes. Anyhow, we will have a conference call at 9 Eastern, 8 Central, 7 Mountain, 6 Pacific. So I do want to spend some time praying tonight again for Larry. I just listened as I was setting up the computer for the program today. I was listening to the attorneys general with a press conference with Mark Meadows. There are 21, and why are there only 21? That's less than half. Where are the other 29? But anyhow, thank God for these 21 attorneys general from 21 states have written a letter to, thank you, Julie. They have written a letter to the Senate saying, end this charade. The Democrats have said that they need more time to ask questions. No, they had their time. And if they rush this through because they didn't have anything, then it needs to be dismissed. And, you don't present new evidence in the Senate. It's done. The impeachment has happened. So they are to present their case, and then the Senate votes on it. And that's it. The Democrats present their case. President Trump's team does a rebuttal. And remember the scripture verse that says, there's a verse, I think it's in Proverbs, that says, when you first hear about something, you're convinced, but, wait a minute, because as soon as the rebuttal comes, you may change your mind. So it's very important to hear the balance. I understand the Democrats have until Friday, 12 hours a day to present their case. And then Saturday, Sunday, Monday, the Republicans will have their answer. Trump's team will have their answer. I can just imagine, I can only imagine, because I don't know, but I can only imagine what Larry has done in fighting with people to make sure that they are going to do the right thing and say the right thing and go the right way. He has ways to talk to people that need to hear something and, get messages through one way or another. And so, Gloria, you're right. There are a lot of people who come forward as whistleblowers who are stripped of everything, just like Michael Flynn was. The railroading. Unfortunately, Roger Stone had a bit of an arrogant attitude, and that does not bode well with the Lord for being on your side to help. That arrogance really does not sit well with the Lord. And I think he thought he was so in the clear that he would get off and he'd skate through this. And I would imagine he's a bit shocked at how things have gone for him. Field McConnell. I mean, there are a lot of people who are, Julian Assange. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And then you think of, dear Seth Rich, even though he was a Bernie supporter, he was very upset at the injustice when Bernie got set aside. Now, Bernie will be set aside again. They do not want him in. It would be so easy to beat him. Now, I heard Hugh Hewitt, who is supposedly a very conservative Christian radio person, has decided in Virginia that he's going to be voting for Bernie Sanders in the primary. But his strategy is to try and help Bernie be the candidate because he thinks he'd be the easiest one to beat. So, that was an interesting thing to hear yesterday. As for these attorneys general, Lindsey Graham welcomes their letter. They are trying to put pressure on the Senate. I appreciate that they are doing that because they're saying, look, the House didn't do their job. They said they had to hurry up, and then they sat on it for, 30 days, 33 days, something like that. What a Masonic number, right? And now, they've got nothing. They impeached him on something that's not even legal. Obstruction of Congress is not in the Constitution. So we've got some issues going on. And I don't know about you guys, but I see this more and more and more coming out like a spiritual battle more than anything else. I do appreciate what Project Veritas said, with their interview with one of Bernie's campaign people being so blatant about promoting violence. It's too bad he's not being arrested for what he said, but I don't know. I'm not in charge of that. So, of course we can second guess things because we're backseat drivers, but we're not at the wheel. So we have to trust the people who are at the wheel. We have to trust that William Barr's priorities are the priorities that we would prefer and that he will deal with the most important things. When we think of the possible election fraud that put a lot of people in office in 2018, it's very frustrating. But Larry did say in 2018, right after the election, actually as we approached the election, he was talking about the freebies they were going to offer and so on to get into office. And he said that Trump's election honesty team, is what I don't remember what it was called, but that's what I'll call it today, that the team did not have enough time to get things set in place before 2018. So we're hoping that things will be in place for 2020, but we don't know. So, that's something that we have to stay very much in prayer for. I'm aware of a lot of people who were praying for peace in Virginia, in Richmond on Monday, and God answered that. I did see that the Department of Justice has commissioned a new agency for a presidential commission on law enforcement. There is precedent for that. And they said, I don't remember what president has done it before, but it's been done, something like that has been done before. And it didn't, a lot of times when they start a new commission or a new department, it never goes away, but apparently it had, and now they've started this new one. And I'm hoping with you, Julie, that it will help bring justice. I don't need to hear that call. I've got caller ID, but I have to let it ring until the caller ID comes up. Johnny, I agree with you that it's a spiritual battle at the root. We're looking at the spirit of Antichrist. We're looking at a rebellious spirit, which is, and remember, Scripture says that rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft. So we're looking at a spirit of witchcraft being very much at play. The two things that will destroy a country is idolatry and witchcraft. And when we see the rebellious nature of the Antifa, of the the parades that have happened, with the threat of taking our program down, you know who I'm talking about, that are very loud and outspoken about having rights to what they do. I won't forget, Sharon. That's the spirit of rebellion, and that is witchcraft. And those are the things that bring a country down more than anything else. And sacrificing our children to these false gods. And as I have told you guys before, in the abortion clinics at the beginning of the day, very often a Satanist will go in and perform rituals before their day starts. So this is very much involved in occult practice with this whole abortion industry. Now, I got a call or a text message or an email from Sharon this morning. She's in Texas. And I'm going to read to you what she sent me. Give me a minute as I look down to find the email that she sent. Here we go. Thank you for reminding me, Sharon. It's the Texas primary elections are in full swing. Unfortunately, former Congressman and Democrat presidential wannabe Beto O'Rourke is jumping in with both feet for pro-abortion candidates. This is bad news. We need to hold these Democrat candidates accountable for their pro-abortion stances. As sickening as O'Rourke's support for the killing of innocent children is, he wields tremendous influence in some circles still, especially with the leftist donors who want to see Texas go the way of California. They're working very hard to take over, and I'm not going to read any more than that because I don't want any copyright infringement here. But folks, if you live in Texas, you need to be more vocal. You need to get involved with your local Republican Party. In your district. Knock on doors, support candidates at the state level as well as the federal level. Larry mostly works at the state level, at the federal level, not the state level. But state politics are very important. Find out which sheriff wants to help make a sanctuary of your area and support that sheriff, because don't forget, Soros is funding sheriff's races, the prosecuting attorneys races, the prosecutors and and the sheriffs are the main things, because they think they've got everything else locked up. So he's taken the bottom of the ballot and funding these things, because if something happens, who are you going to call to protect you? The sheriff, if he's part of the communist system? And our judicial system is so communist. They want communism to come. And so the other thing is what Ted Cruz said. He was interviewed and he was talking about, let's have this trial so we can prove Trump is innocent. No. He's innocent until proven guilty. It sounds good. Let's prove him innocent. No. He is innocent until proven guilty. He is coming on TV shows and on the news, and he's talking about it all backwards, and it sounds great. But this is all backwards. So Sharon suggested, and since Larry isn't here to give us our marching orders today, I would say until Larry comes back, let's continue calling Mitch McConnell. That information is here in the description box. But the switchboard in DC is the same for every senator and every congressman, and it's 202-224-3121. Let me type that in for you, 202-224-3121. And you can ask for anybody you want, and any congressman or senator with that phone number. And let's call Ted Cruz's office and say, wait a second, he's innocent until proven guilty. You don't need to have a trial to let him off. All you have to do is dismiss. So let's be putting pressure on your fellow senators to dismiss this. That's what the Attorney General's letter to the Senate is saying. They've got nothing. They're wanting the Senate to do, the House is wanting the Senate to do their job for them. I started listening to Adam Schiff's speech today, and I couldn't take it. I just couldn't take it. So I had to turn it off. I just couldn't do it. Not with everything else I'm stressed under right now. It was just, I knew it was all lies, and I just couldn't do it. But we need to stay active. I know people are making phone calls because people are telling me that they are, and they're calling me. And just before we started, I got a call. Are we still supposed to call Mitch's office? Yes, I know very few offices are picking up. You can leave a message at the Fort Wright office, and I think the Bowling Green office, and there might be a couple others in Kentucky itself. Now remember, it's a little easier for us to call the DC office than as non-Kentucky residents. But once he is in Congress, any of them, once they are in Congress, they are representing the country, not just their constituents. And sorry, I'm looking for where I had my paper. Thank you for Ted Cruz's phone number, 202-224-5922. And were you going to put Austin? Because I don't see that. Yeah, Ted Cruz, I mean, crying out loud, he was running against the president in the primary in 2016. So, he got beat badly. So, thank you, Mike, for calling your senators. That is a good thing. I appreciate what Mark Meadows had to say, and saying that, they're asking the Senate to do that House's job, which is just wrong. It should not be done that way. And you're going to hear a lot of that. And, it'll be interesting to see how much of an influence we will hear from what we would imagine Larry might have had a chance to affect. I'm sure he's done something and gotten word to somebody that, somebody's going to say something that we've heard Larry say here before. I would imagine there's a way to be watching for that. So, folks, come to the conference call tonight. The phone number for our conference call is at the very bottom in the description box below here. It's the last thing in the description box. There's a phone number, and then there's an access code you need when you get the recording that says, type in your access code. Do that. It's 712-451-0725. The access code is 492-215#. And we need to spend some time praying about what's going on at the Senate. We need to pray for our president's protection in Davos and coming home. And we need to pray very hard for Larry. We know that we need him to help keep the pressure on. And I don't know who he wants us to call, but given what Ted Cruz has said, I think it makes sense for us to give him a call. I'm quite sure Susan Collins apparently is wavering a little bit because I had the list of senators that were up for election, and I took it to the other room yesterday. Sorry. Should have had it right here, but no, that's not it. I moved it. So, but I think Larry said that she's waffling a little bit. So Senator Collins from Maine, I'm sure, is one of the ones that we're going to start calling, but hold off until we hear from Larry. It'll be really important that we make calls Thursday and Friday, Thursday and Friday and through the weekend. Well, the offices will be closed, but certainly Thursday, Friday, Monday. He will tell us who to call. He will give us a script. I don't have a different access code for Canadian callers. Barb has sometimes had to use a different phone number to get in. And then the last time she joined us, she was a little surprised. She was able to just dial in without using any other workaround. So I'm not sure, Kate, how to answer you there. Barb, if you're on here and can type in what Kate should do, would you do that? Casey, Never Socialism. Let us never forget that the Democrats want socialism, and we are socialism just as a matter of how versus communism. It's a matter of how quickly they get to the end result. So with that being said, I'm just going to remind you, we have the Never Socialism bumper sticker available that you can buy. Don't forget Larry's autobiography that tells about his 28-year, now 30 years, going on 31 years, fight against the Clintons and what they stand for. This tells the story from the day he left the employment of, well, actually it goes back to things that he learned while he was working for the Clintons, why he separated from them, why he turned against them. And it goes through the election of 2016. So it came out in March of 2017, the book did. Don't forget the t-shirt, and I've been meaning to call Mark and see if there's any way to get this in a long sleeve t-shirt. I haven't had a chance to call him yet because my life's just a little upside down right now. So I won't repeat that, Matthew, because I can't talk like that. But I will say that you're right in what you're saying about socialism. So, the conference call again is tonight at 9 Eastern, 8 Central, 6 Pacific. That'd be 7 Mountain. I'm not sure where that puts people who live in Alaska. Will just have to figure that one out. So Larry apologized for not being with us today. He did call briefly, and he was trying to find some money to help pay for this new medication he needs. And that's all I've had a chance to talk to him about. When he's very busy or when he's sick, I don't hear from him at all unless, he's asking me to help do some fundraising. So the call tonight, 9 Eastern, and with that, do whatever you can for Larry and spread the word that he needs help, and be listening for his words when the Republicans get up, and see if you can recognize anything that might have filtered through from Larry somehow. So thank you, Paul, for your compliment. Doing the best I can to make up for it. So let's call Ted Cruz's office, and let's keep calling Mitch McConnell's. And I know it takes time to make calls. If we could just get in and say our piece and hang up, we'd be done so much quicker. The fact that we can't get through is a problem. They know calls are coming in, and they shut the phones down just to block what they would consider harassment, because they think they're above us, that we put them in office, and now that they're there, they can do whatever they want. And the fact that they have been put in over and over and over again, politics was never, ever meant to be a career, ever. Not in America. It was not meant to be a career in America. Our founding fathers wanted you to go in and serve 1 term, maybe 2. They didn't need term limits because you were only supposed to go in for 1 or 2 terms. No retirement benefits. Go in, go home, and take care of yourself and take care of your family on your own. So things are totally upside down from what we were intended to be. And don't ever forget that the Massachusetts colony started because people were looking for the freedom to worship God as they want. Thank you, Tammy. Appreciate it. Larry does get the funds from it. That's why we have to pay a little extra for the shirt, because it is a fundraiser for him, and the shirts are expensive to buy, and so there's a little bit tacked on top to do at least something for Larry from that. So appreciate it. I know I've got 3 books that I'm supposed to send out to people. Just let me get through this week, and hopefully I'll be a little more on my feet. If anybody lives near Maryland and could come up and give me a hand, oh my goodness, I could use some help. Even if all you can do is help move boxes around the house, because I can't put things in storage. I just don't have the means to go and do that. So we're gonna stuff my basement. And I could certainly have some help doing that. So anyhow, pray that my knees will hold up as I'm up and down the ladder with the paintbrush. My back and my shoulders seem to be holding on, but that is so minor compared to what Larry is dealing with. He's in a lot of pain, and he's violently ill because of this flu. So pray that he will survive this and he will come back to us and stay in the fight. God bless you guys. We will talk tomorrow. Thanks for being here. Bye.